Host A, welcome to the show. Today we're going to do a deep dive into a rather sharp dialogue you shared with me. Host B, yes, sharp is the perfect word for it. Reading it felt like watching a spiritual teacher give a group of students some serious shock therapy. The content hits really close to home. Host A, exactly. It feels like a guide to mental minimalism danchari. It gives us a tool, cruelly points out how much trash we've piled up in our hearts, and finally warns us that even the words we speak every day might be creating new piles of rubbish. Host B. What's most interesting is how it relentlessly challenges some of our era's most popular ideas, especially the concept of self-confidence. Host A. Hoso. Host B. It essentially argues that much of the feel-good confidence we pride ourselves on is actually just a manifestation of ignorance. It forces us to stop and ask a fundamental question. Do we actually know ourselves as well as we think we do? Host A. Let's break it down. The dialogue starts with a grand metaphor. Our mind is like a 4D screen spanning the entire universe, and our life is a movie playing on it. Host B. That metaphor sets the stage for the training, the 4-minute method. The idea is that our potential is infinitely vast, but daily thoughts are like static on the screen, messing everything up. The goal is purification and focus. Host A. There's a vivid image used. Our thoughts are usually like countless capillaries, weak and scattered. That's why we lack drive or power in what we do. Host B. I get that feeling, like the student in the dialogue complaining about thoughts popping up one after another, having to scream go away, at his own mind. Host A. Right. We waste all our energy just managing our internal drama. So, is this 4-minute training about fighting those thoughts? Host B. That's the key. That's the exact opposite. It's not about fighting. It's about deliberate resting. Imagine a glass of muddy water. The more you stir it, the muddier it gets. If you just let it sit, the impurities settle naturally. This training gathers the scattered energy from the capillaries into a powerful aorta. Host A. Resting sounds simple, but it's hard. What do I actually do for those 4 minutes? Is it meditation? Host B. The core spirit is not dancing along with the thoughts. When a thought arises, you don't talk to it, and you don't try to push it away. You just watch it, like a stranger walking down the street, and let it arise and fade on its own. It's about training the stability of the nervous system. Even someone with a simple mind can do it because the power comes from samadhi stillness, not intellectual cleverness. Host A. So, we have the tool. But then the dialogue takes a sharp turn, explaining why we must do this. And this is the part that makes you squirm, the sense of shame and remorse. Host B. It's incredibly blunt. The students admit they don't feel much shame and actually feel pretty good about themselves. The teacher basically pours a bucket of ice water on them, saying that lacking a sense of shame is a pathological state. It's no different from a mental patient who doesn't realize they're ill. You lose the ability to distinguish beauty from ugliness, right from wrong. Host A. But isn't the idea of comparing upward dangerous? If I only look at people better than me, won't I just end up with a massive inferiority complex? That goes against the modern love yourself mantra. Host B. Great point. But in this context, the goal isn't to cause depression. It's to puncture a false bubble of confidence. We don't feel shame because we've unconsciously developed a habit of downward comparison, looking at people worse off than us to gain cheap ego boosts. This self-anesthesia is the greatest enemy of growth. Host A. The examples the teacher uses are brutal. First, ability. Others are masters of arts and can support their families with their skills. What about you? Do you live off your mouth? Host B. Then, appearance. He asks them to look at their own faces and ask if they see glory or shame. When they say, "We don't think we're ugly," he says they've just lost the ability to discern. Host A. And the quality of life comparison. The tea. He says the wealthy drink fresh, toxin-free tea, while we eat food that's old and full of toxins. Yet we still feel fine. Host B. The most extreme is comparing humans to pets. He points out that some pampered dogs eat better, live better, and have better healthcare than most people. He asks, if you are living worse than a dog, how can you not feel a sense of shame? It's a shock to the system regarding our dignity. Host A. So, upward comparison creates shame. And shame creates the drive to change. But what is the root cause of our problems? Host B. The dialogue calls it affliction. To explain this, it uses everyday examples like sugar. Host A. My weakness. Host B. The text says craving sweets isn't just a sweet tooth, it's chronic self-harm. We label sugar as happy, but ignore that it attacks the blood-brain barrier. Once that firewall is breached, our brain is open to toxins, leading to memory loss and becoming stupider. Host A. This connects back to the 4-minute training. When the urge for sugar arises, you use the method to rub out the delicious label and replace it with the reality of the harm it does. Host B. Exactly. Using logic to override primitive desire. Another example is the love for expensive clothes. The text argues this stems from deep inferiority because you don't feel you are enough. You need clothes to give you value. Host A. And then there's relationships. It says arguments between couples are often just greed in disguise. Host B. Right. I want you to stay with me. Sounds like love. But it's often possessiveness. You are mine. You must listen to me. It's an emotional shackle. Host A. They used the character Mei Chang-soo from Nirvana in Fire as a counterexample. He succeeded because he controlled his afflictions. He didn't let old flames or old enemies cloud his judgment. He stayed emotionally detached to achieve his goal. Host B. Finally, the most chilling point. Every word we say praise, complaint, or joke is like placing an order with the universe. Eventually, the delivery will arrive. Host A. The boomerang effect. He tells the story of the horse wheat retribution. Someone mocked a practitioner saying, they only deserve to eat horse feed. And eons later, even after becoming a Buddha, he had to endure a meal of horse wheat as a lingering result of that one sentence. Host B. And the famous story of Sudongpo and Master Foyin. Sudongpo told the monk he looked like a pile of bull dung. The monk replied, you look like a Buddha. Sudongpo thought he won, until his sister pointed out, what you have in your heart is what you see in others. Host A. So if you see dung, your heart is dung. If you see Buddha, your heart is Buddha. We are literally creating our future with our tongue. Host B. Precisely. Whether we are planting seeds for a Buddha or seeds for bull dung is entirely up to us. Host A. This has been an intense mental health check. It seems true growth isn't about learning new skills, but about peeling off labels we've put on food, relationships, and ourselves. Host B. And the first things to discard are those unthinking complaints and judgments. Host A. The dialogue ends with a haunting thought. If you stop looking down at those below you and start looking up at those with true wisdom, virtue, and ability, what is the first thing you would want to change about yourself right now?